readings programs in our series of videos on things that I find interesting, stuff that I've done, stuff that I find other people have done that's interesting. I thought I would cover a little bit about Polloi, actually. Very interesting guy, has years worth of videos on his channel that show basically toy collection, toy reconstruction, toy repainting. It's a very good channel, helps repair stuff for display. He also has patterns that he has created. Some of the patterns are for replacement decals for Star Wars ships and other toys, Masters of the Universe. He also does a series of patterns for cloaks for classic Star Wars figures, which I find very interesting. It helps replace things that are lost, but also, excuse me, I think it can add to the interest and collectability of even some of the newer ones. As you see, I've got some things here, some of them of the 90s release, some of the more recent stuff. This one in particular is one of the newer Luke Skywalker figures. I don't remember the exact line, but it's a thicker, chunkier line. And I've got sections for add-on equipment and that kind of thing, but it's a nicely sculpted figure. Pretty good portrait. It's a little bit chunkier than the classic type figures and the line that is now. This is one of the 90s figures. Just fall down there. So it doesn't exactly fit in, but it's not too bad. And especially, you know, the prices for action figures these days, they're really priced for collectors at this point. So, you know, $10 for a figure, that's something that a kid can actually take home and play with and have a good time with. And like I said, they're pretty solid, decently posable. Like I said, Polloi does a series of cloak patterns for various Star Wars figures. Usually come out something like this. This one is specifically for the hooded robes with sleeves. A lot of the stuff on Polloi's site is free, and if it's not free, it's pretty inexpensive. This particular one wasn't free, but I think it was $3 American. So as you can see, as we're looking at the, actually I'll put that back here, as we're looking at the original Obi-Wan that came out with the 90s Power of the Force figures, the portrait's okay, but it's got this plasticky robe, which is fine. But in order to make that plasticky robe work, you've got to have this insane pose on the legs. And as you can tell with the non-bendable robe, if you wanted to do something like have a diorama piece where you had Luke and the droids and Ben going into Mos Eisley, that's just not going to work. I mean, you could take the cloak off like I have done. You could set him in there, and then you have Ben in sort of his shirt sleeves, so to speak. It's not really all that exciting. So if you take these patterns, Polloi recommends using a fabric called looped fleece or toy knit. He generally has those that fabric linked on his tutorials where he shows how to do these sorts of things and how he makes the patterns. So you take that, and then, you know, even with my mediocre sewing skills, you can get something that's pretty reasonable looking. It works for what it is. But more importantly, in my opinion at least, once you add it to the figure, then you get something that I feel just, even with these older figures, with the, again, the really weird poses and sculpting things that were done with them, It gives a real, more of a feeling of class, I think, to the figure. And then obviously much more easily fit into the land speeder. Same with this Luke Skywalker figure. Again, $10 figure. Not bad, not bad at all. But if you take the hooded cloak pattern, which this one is not sleeved, and I believe this one is, the pattern for this is free on Toy Polloi, and you add this to this $10 figure, and I think suddenly you have increased the look of these figures almost immeasurably. I mean, look how much more interesting that figure is now, with just a simple thing like a tiny cloth cloak that you've added. And it also has a tiny bit more of a retro feel now with the cloth cloak. So anyway, I thought I would cover that just because, again, I find his stuff very interesting. I would definitely recommend checking his things out. His toys fall over less than mine do. But he has a number of not just toy collection and toy repair, but also he has videos that are basically instructables on how he created these patterns, and then him running through a number of them to really nail them down. And I think they really give these, they can give your toys a very nice look, really add to the look of any figure. And again, it's not just Star Wars. You can use these cloaks. I believe he has a more recent video where he uses this pattern and makes cloaks for some of his black hole collection. And it all looks pretty nice. You can get these in various colors, the cloth in various colors. But I'll have a link below to Toy Polloi's channel. So again, I think these are really cool. I think you should check them out. And thanks for watching. Like and comment if you so desire. Talk to you later.